Super proud of the guys. We've been talking about how we've been trending in the right direction the last couple of games, and I use the phrase to break through. Our guys' spirit from the start of the day. Super confident to come out, play together. To get 52 points off of our bench. Guys playing well on both ends of the floor. We've said, it's obviously great when, you're starting to make shots, but it all started with our spirit in the last 2 days. Going back and looking at ourselves, where we can get better, and I'm super proud of how they just played together offensively. Like, so many multiple actions, 34 assists, mid-20s is great, but to get 34, it just speaks to, what we're capable of doing, and that all starts with the buy-in of the players, and I'm super proud of it. And, the result is because, they earned it. So I'm super proud, and this is something we talk about. You just got to be able to do this night in and night out. Minnesota still scored a bunch of points. We can get better defensively. We can get better offensively, but where we're trending, this was a big step for us tonight.
Hate to start on a negative here, but probably the worst game of Jaren Jackson's still very young career. What was your sense of the struggle he was having, and can you talk about your decision not to go back to him in the fourth quarter?
Sure. Too early fouls. Sometimes that happens where it throws a guy out of rhythm. And then as the game just kept progressing, when he came back in, there was other guys that up to that point had just kind of carried the momentum for us. And then we start off the third quarter. Kind of a funky start to that third quarter, back and forth. It seemed like it took forever to get to that first time out. And then I just kind of rode with some guys that, I thought were playing a little bit better in the first half. And, luckily that kind of carried out for us. So sometimes guys are going to have, some struggles. And, if we can focus on just continuing to find a way to stay in the rhythm when we get back on the floor, that's the important takeaway.
Taylor, to that end, when you see Brandon Clark come off the bench and is a plus 30, well, with the kind of energy that he brings to that second unit, what have you seen from him in terms of building towards the kind of impact that he's had?
We've talked all along about just, consistent effort, playing within himself, playing within the team. Obviously we can point to he's a plus 30, but he's a beneficiary of the teammates around him. So, credit to, when he's on the floor, he makes an impact, but the teammates around him help him do that. We all got to help each other. So, just keep him focused on doing the little things, the winning basketball plays, which he's been doing his whole career. And as a rookie to be able to do that off the bench, when you have results like that, you just want to continue building on that and make that a standard for yourself.
Taylor, how vital was it? You guys obviously shot the ball well from the field and from three, but you got to the foul line a lot more than normal. Was that a point of emphasis to really attack the basket?
Yeah, that's our MO. It's attack mentality in transition. I think our multiple actions really helped that, rather than getting into some ISO situations, trying to put the defense on their heels a little bit more, even in the half court, extra pick and rolls, extra dribble handoffs, and we benefited. It's the old adage, the more aggressive team, and, I felt like we had a great aggressive mindset tonight, and, it was good to get rewarded with, the free throws, but, we talked about just after the game, when you have the recipe of 26 fast break points, 66 points in the paint, and then you can get some free throws and you can start making some threes, you can see what we're capable of. So now we just got to keep trending that way and, identifying what style we need to play offensively.
With Minnesota a little shorthanded at point guard, was there some communication among you guys or a sense that this could be a game where Ja might be especially effective attacking the basket?
Not really. Regardless of, whatever the lineup is we faced, we just kind of play our basketball. We're not necessarily a matchup-based offense. Obviously a lot's going to run through Ja. So tonight it was just more about going out and collectively as a team being in attack mode.
Coach, Dillon Brooks had a nice bounce-back game. He had some foul trouble the last game. He hit a lot of shots today. He also was very pesky on defense and just playing discipline on defense. What do you think about his performance tonight?
Sure. His spirit's been great. Even in whatever, couple struggles he may have had in a couple games, shots maybe not falling or foul trouble, but his spirit's been consistent. You talk about his peskiness. That's been, I think, the thing the last week and a half, 2 weeks, he's been ultra consistent and is just being a tone setter for us defensively. And that spirit I talk about just kind of builds your confidence up, your energy up. And then obviously he had a heck of a night tonight. I'm proud of his teammates finding him in the right spots and him being aggressive, but also playing within the offense to get, those shot attempts. And, he's a beneficiary of kind of playing a pretty efficient game on both ends of the floor.
How much easier does it just make everything when Dillon's not only on, but he's actively looking for a shot. It seems like there were some offensive lows the team struggled with that didn't happen tonight because like the guy who was on fire was kept shooting and kept hitting him.
Yeah, I mean, as I just said, like our team kept finding him, and it was kind of within the system. So, I felt this was, I used the word efficient. There were times where he was being aggressive. I never thought it crossed the line where he was like trying to, be selfish by any means or go over the top. And it's great to see how he's been consistent defensively, and he has a breakthrough in a game like that. And we're hitting him every single day about just within the offense, be aggressive. Like one of your best attributes is just aggressive mentality on both ends, but let the offense kind of find its way to you, and then you be aggressive in those moments.
Already, Jaws, one of the best guys at finishing at the rim for guards around the league, one of the few that's over 50, I think over 60% now at the rim. Can you speak to the angles and the way that he approaches it and the uniqueness of his ability to kind of find the basket?
Yeah, I mean, he's, very gifted athletically. We talked about this, I think, a couple of games ago about, all the film study that he's been doing, on himself and other players, adapting to NBA size and athleticism and physicality, how he's got to do it without contact, do it with contact, and he's such a downhill player. You've got to be able to identify angles at multiple levels, in full court, 3-point line, getting into the paint, especially at the rim, and he works on it every single day in his vitamins. It's a credit to him, the coaching staff, not just the film work, but the daily work he puts into it. We sat down the other day. He's like, man, I've been working on this a whole bunch, and when you get to see the benefits of it, you just continue making that a habit every single day. And with the attacking mentality, we need him to play with every single night. He's going to ultimately need to finish at a high level.
All right, thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.